Stampers, it's Kim Vogel with the Basement Bunch Stampers here for another terrific Tuesday video. Today I'm going to share with you a cute and simple gatefold card using designer series paper, and I think this is a neat use of paper if you've got a lot of that designer paper getting ready to retire and you're trying to use up before you buy some of the new stuff out of our upcoming catalog. This card is perfect for it. And I'm going to show you the two different samples that I've created for you, and then I'm going to actually create one for you on my video using a different paper from the same paper stack. So let me show you the paper that I'm using today. I am going back to our annual catalog, and I am using from our annual catalog the whole lot of lovely designer series paper, and I'm going to be using the coordinating stamp set. I use the image right here, thinking of you, out of that stamp set. And this paper is really, really pretty. I love it, and I haven't had much chance to play with it. And so today I did just that, and I had some fun making these cards for you. Again, this is just a simple gatefold card with a belly band wrapped around it. This one right here, this belly band just comes off like this, and the card opens up like that. And inside is where you're going to have your little greeting. And I'm going to show you how I created the card, where I included this little piece of paper that I cut off the top down here on the bottom. And then the other sample that I've created for you, I did not do that. I simply left that paper off of the bottom. And again, it's the same concept, and it just opens up like this. And then the opposite side of the card paper, the DSP's on the back. And I love these little belly bands because it just kind of keeps that card shut perfectly so that it doesn't keep flying open. But this is a nice little card to give somebody as a nice little wow factor. And it's really simple and fun to do. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to be using a piece of designer series paper from the same paper stack, just using a different pattern for it. So we are going to start with a piece of designer series paper. Now you're going to get 2 cards out of one piece of designer series paper. These are cut at 5.5 by 12, so you can see that it's one piece of paper. And then you're going to have 1 inch left over, and that is what I used to create one of the belly bands for the card. So there's absolutely no waste on this at all. And then if you needed to do a belly band for the second card, you could use a piece of design or a piece of cardstock that matches. So in this case, you could use your pool party or your black that's inside those little flowers, or you could even use the blushing bride to make another belly band. So that's what I like about this. There's literally no waste. From there, we're going to be doing some scoring. So I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Trimmer, and we are going to be rescoring this designer series piece of paper on the long side, on the 8 and or on the 11 side. We're going to be scoring it at 2 inches. You get it here, and then again at 4, and then again at 8 and 10. So let me pull this open. At 8, and again at 10. So that is all of my scoring. I'm going to pull this out of here for a moment. We're going to come back to using that. From there, I am going to fold this on the, and you'll see here why in a second. I'm folding it in on the 4-inch line and again on the 8-inch line. Okay, so I've kind of got it folded like this. I still have 2 more score lines where my 2 thumbnails are that I have not folded just yet. From there, I'm going to be bringing in a ruler, and bear with me, I had to go grab my ruler. From there, we're going to be doing a little bit of diagonal measuring with my ruler. So what I'm going to do is on those 2 lines where I folded, I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to put a little mark up at the top on both of those lines. And you'll see here in a minute why I'm doing that. So let me bring this in. You can see I put a little mark right here and a little mark right there. And then on the end, I'm going to go 2 3/4 down on the 5.5-inch side. So let me measure this down, 2 3/4. And I'm going to put a little mark there as well. I want to make sure you guys can see this on my video. So 2 3/4. And I'm going to put a little mark right here. And then I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Make it a little bit bigger there so that I make sure you guys can see that when I go to cut this. So again, 2 3/4. So it's right here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring my Stampin' Trimmer back in, and we are going to line up those dots that I created. We're going to cut that right off. Okay, so there's my 4-inch one that I did, and then here's my one that I did So I'm going to line those two little lines up in my trimmer. So there's the 4-inch one, here's the 2 3/4 inch one, and I am going to cut that right off. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing over on this side. So I'm going to line up the 4-inch with my 2 3/4 inch, which is right about there. Let me get it. Got to make sure I get it just right. And I'm going to cut that off as well. So, and I'm going to show you what I did with these two pieces in just a moment. So I'm going to get my trimmer out again. So from here, you're going to decide which paper you want for your front and which one you want for your back. And I want my paper to actually look like this. Look how pretty that is. So again, it all depends on which way you want that to go. Now, when you're cutting this paper, it's important to pay attention to the orientation of the paper. So if you had cats or, you know, something that had a design, you don't want it to go the opposite way. So you want to make sure that what you cut off, the orientation is correct. And so what you can then do with these two little pieces that I've cut off is you can glue them down here and wrap it around like this and glue it down. You could do that to both of them if you wanted to. You could also, and that's what I did with one of the samples that I'm showing you guys earlier, I did it this way. Now you could also do it the opposite way, where you go from the inside and just have this little piece showing like this as well. So it depends on which way you want to put that on there. I'm going to actually make this card without putting these pieces of paper in there. So this is going to look similar to the one that I showed you with the Blushing Bride with the Pear Pizzazz. This is the one that I created where I added those little pieces of paper. But that's a neat way of not having any waste as well. So from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a mat to the inside of the card for writing your little verse or doing any of your stamping. Now these mats right here are cut. The black is cut 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and the pool party is cut 5 by 3 1/2. And I already glued those together to save a little bit of time with my video today. And those are just going to be glued right inside. Now, if you have not joined my mailing list yet, I encourage you to join it by going to kimsbasementbunch.com. And there's a little icon there to join my mailing list. I do send out free tutorials every Friday with at least 2 projects included. And those are just complimentary tutorials to anybody on my mailing list. So if you haven't joined my mailing list, I encourage you to look at that. I also offer online classes and kits to go in the mail. So if you haven't looked into that, please do. I would love to have you as a customer and earn your business. Okay, so now for the belly band, I am going to use this little scrap of paper that I showed you. And I don't do any kind of fancy measuring with this. I just kind of wrap this around so that it's not too tight. And I'm going to cut off some of the excess because we don't need all of that. Let me find my scissors here. And I'm just going to cut off about 1 inch on each side. I think that's going to be about enough. Now I could have cut that off in advance, but I wanted you guys to see that I am a no fuss kind of person. I don't spend a lot of time worrying about the specifics of the measurements. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of fast fuse here, and I'm going to adhere this belly band together. And again, I don't want it to be too tight because I want that to slide right off of there, which it still will. That belly band is just going to hold it in place. And then from there, I am using the stamp set that coordinates with that paper, Whole Lot of Lovely. It's called Lots of Love, and I use the Thinking of You image. And in advance, I stamped that in black ink, and I punched it out with the 1 3/4 inch circle. And then I matted that with a 2-inch circle of the pool party. And we're going to adhere that to the belly band right here using some Stampin' Dimensionals. And this is a little trick that I wanted to make sure you guys know how to do, because you don't want to put dimensionals on the wrong spot and actually glue this down so the band doesn't come up. I found it much easier to put a couple of dimensionals right on the band, and then when you pick those off, you have the adhesive right where you want it, and then you just simply lay this down in the center, and then you don't have to worry about that coming off because you know that it's going to without having adhesive stuck to the tops where you didn't need it. So that is the cute little simple card that I am sharing with you today. A great card for using up designer series paper, and a really nice card just for a nice little wow factor. You may have to explain to your person you give this to how the cute little belly band works, and but it's a nice little wow card and just something unique and different other than the normal card that opens up and that you use regular cardstock for. So anyway, thank you for stopping today. I hope you enjoyed this cute simple tutorial on making a gatefold card with your designer series paper, and I look forward to seeing what you create. Thanks for stopping today and have a great day. We'll see you all back here next week. Bye.